Okay, good. So, hi everyone once again. I'm going to speak about a vision for this platform. Where do we want to go and what do we want to do? So, I'm going to focus on West Africa since the sixth BDI citizen science is focusing on West Africa. Although Talatu has given a good background about Africa in general, just to remind ourselves, Africa is the largest continent of all continents in the world, and it is believed to be the most diverse in terms of ecosystem, in terms of wildlife, and also in terms of humans. There are so many ethnic groups, there are so many customs and tribes. So Africa is very blessed and it's very, very rich in terms of wildlife. But unfortunately, many information about this wildlife is poorly known, especially in West African region. So West Africa, which comprises 16 countries, is the most populous region in Africa, yet the least known in terms of wildlife. A lot is yet to be known about the wildlife of West Africa compared to other regions of Africa, like South Africa, like East Africa. And there are currently over 400 million people in West Africa, that is in these 16 countries. So as a result of this human growing population, wildlife is fast declining, both small and large animals and habitats are rapidly degrading and being destroyed. The major factors are poverty, uprising like insurgency, insecurities, and climate change are important threats. So the need to identify and map the distribution of wildlife in West Africa is therefore badly needed. So where do we want to go? This is a coverage map for the BedPix project for the entire African continent. You can see from the parts of South Africa, it is covered very well. But if you compare it with Western Africa, I think we are yet to reach the dreamland, which I say West Africa is far from what dreamland, but well on the right path. We are getting there. So Nigeria is doing well compared with other Western African countries. Others are joining suit, like Liberia, like Ghana, like Cameroon, the Gambia, and other West African countries. So this is a comparison of submissions of BedPix projects, of BM projects between West Africa, East Africa, and South Africa. You can see in the BedPix project, in the entire West Africa, there are 1,253 records. In East Africa, there are 7,000 records, while in South Africa, there are over 100,000 records. And in West Africa, Nigeria accounts for more than maybe 99% of those records are from West Africa, are from Nigeria, followed by Liberia. Then in LEPIMAP project, distribution map for butterflies and moths, Nigeria still is leading. There are over 1,000 records from Nigeria, followed by Liberia and Cameroon. Then for Odonata, there are 627 submissions from West Africa. And still Nigeria is leading with over 500 records. If you compare these records submitted to VM projects with South Africa or East Africa, you can see West Africa is relatively left behind. So there are other submissions from West African countries, but there is no available distribution map for those countries. So these records are based, or this table is based on available distribution maps for these countries. So for Odonata map, you can see there in terms of submissions, Liberia have over 4,000 records compared with Nigeria, but there is no distribution map so far for now available for Liberia. Then the countries with the highest record followed by Nigeria, then Ghana, then the least countries are Niger, Mauritania, and Burkina Faso. Then there are other countries like Ivory Coast, like Mali, with few observations. So I'm trying to compare the submission of bed pigs project with Nigeria and other West African countries. This is a bed pigs coverage for Nigeria, and this is for Western Cape in South Africa. I try to compare with the whole region of South Africa, but there is KwaZulu-Natal, there is Western Cape, and other regions of West Africa. So I decided to compare Western Cape with other regions of West Africa. So this is for Western Cape, and this is Nigeria. So you can see in terms of coverage map, we are by far left behind. And what I can tell you from the distribution map for Nigeria, this records or this coverage was merely between 2017 to date. In the last 3 years, we achieved this coverage map. And for Liberia, there are only four. There are only 4 submissions from 4 quarter degree grid cells. And in Cameroon, there is no any record from Cameroon. Then for LEPI map, distribution map for butterflies and moths, this is for Nigeria. In the last 3 years, this is what we have achieved. And in the Western Cape, this is what is obtained. Then for Liberia, there are only submissions. There are 2 submissions from 9 degree cells. And for Cameroon, there is only submission, a single submission from 1 quarter degree grid cell. So you can see West Africa is by far left behind in terms of biomapping. So these are some of my contributions to Virtual Museum. In the bed pigs project, I submitted over 800 records for BOP, birds without plumage with abnormalities or aberration. That is 1 record. Dung beetle 16, and other BM projects. LEPI map 222, Scorpion, Spider map, and other BM projects. So it doesn't matter if you are interested in birds or if you are interested in fish. So there are so many available projects for any citizen science. So over the period of my biomapping, I have the privilege to visit some of nice habitats or diverse habitats. The first photo, top left, is Obudu Plateau, is Grotto Minifol in Obudu. And this the second center up is also Obudu. And the left top is a typical savanna, a view of a typical savanna from the northwestern Nigeria, parts of Kebbi State. Then top bottom, left bottom, this is an outcrop, a rocky outcrop in parts of Katsina State. And this center, bottom center, is Mambila Plateau. And you can see some, a gallery forest, a remnant of a gallery forest, which I am thinking before it used to be a dense forest, but due to human activities, they are turning it into like a savanna or a grassland. And this is a wetland ecosystem. These are some of the records I have biomapped, some of photos. And this is the Lenohinus dage, and it's an endemic species to Nigeria. It is found on the Obudu Plateau. And this is zebra white, and this is a forest butterfly, Protogonimopa prahasus, and this is a yellow pansy. And this one is a This is Octavia, Dapa Komodo, and this is Golden Pansy, Genonia corimeni. And this is small Alpinus rangesepidil. And this is one of the typical African migrant butterflies, the African migrant Catopsilia florella. And this is Antene amara, Sealet blue. And this is Angola white lady, Grappium angolanus, baronis. And this is one of the most abundant butterflies you see around in Nigeria. I don't know in other areas of West Africa what's the case, but this is one of the most abundant butterflies. The African plain tiger, the Naus crassicus, alcipus, and this is bineleaf vagrant, Eronia pleodora. Then for bed pigs, these are some of the photos I uploaded. This is one of the BOP submission I did. It's an aberrant long-tailed glossus stallion. And this is one of the few or near endemic species in Nigeria, Western Mountain Green Bull. It is restricted to Mount Sankola Mountains on the Obudu Plateau. It is only found in Nigeria and Cameroon. And this is also a near endemic species. It is found in Nigeria only and in Cameroon. It is a Bannerman's weaver. And this is a blue-headed cocal. And this one is a gray-backed fiscal. This one, I biomap it in Adamawa, and it is a range extension, and we got this one published with the NIBAP team on Malimbus early this year. And this is a hooded vulture. I hope, Dr. Sam, you can remember this hooded vulture we saw in 2018 when we were coming out from Sokoto in 2018. And it was the first time I saw hooded vulture in the wild in Nigeria. So the photo is very important to me because vultures are seriously declining or have seriously declined in Nigeria. And this is the first time I got this bird. It is a northern crombec. It is a bird that is very, very hard to photograph. And this is a Cameroon indigo bird from Mambila Plateau. And this is a yellow mantle widow bird. And this is also one of the near endemic species in Nigeria, the rock firefinch from Amurum Forest Reserve, Aplori. And this is also another range extension, house sparrow from Patiskum. And we also got this published with the NIBAP team in Malimbus. And this is brown rump bunting from Niger State, when we went for some atlas exercise in Kainji Lake National Park. So for other projects, I have some important submissions. This is Penton's toad, and this is Nile grass toad, frog, and this is African bullfrog, Paxiphalus edulis, and this is African common toad, and this is Trithemis chibi and northern banded ground lean, and this is ring cascada, Zygonix torridus, and this species actually came to my one. I saw it when I came back to one day to my home. So I just saw it pitched. So once I saw it, I said, this is a new species to me. I have never photographed this. Quickly, I grabbed my camera and I got it photographed. And it turned out to be a new species to me. And this is one of the few species that is very common, barbed patcher. And these are a few reptiles I uploaded on a reptile map. This is five-line sting. And this is Agama paragama, West African tree agama. And this is West African night adder, Causus maculatus. And here we have one of the venomous snakes in Africa, pop adder. So what do we want to achieve with all of this? We want to create a community of social scientists, because citizen science is about the people, not the science. A lot of scientists are focused on science, forgetting about the people. So we need to involve the people in citizen science. And in doing so, we want to have an up-to-date distribution map for wildlife in West Africa and Africa at large. But how do we achieve that? We need to find out people. We have to increase public participation through citizen science, online communities, and lots more. Thus, they need to come together through a platform like this. And in West Africa, particularly in Nigeria, we want to improve this advocacy through West African Wildlife and Nature Photography Facebook page, which is a platform that promotes citizen science participation, especially biomapping in West Africa. Because a lot of people are engaged in atlas exercises, but very few are fascinated or have interest about biomapping. So even among atlasers, a lot of people will go to field for bird watching, but they care less about other creatures. But at least people recently are beginning to appreciate biomapping, because there are a lot of potentials in biomapping which we are currently being advocating. What are the benefits of this? Data can reveal areas of species reach, hence potential for tourism, conservation, decision, and policy making. Because a lot of people will be thinking, oh, this photographs, what are you going to do with this photograph? Just snap and submit. So these are some of the benefits we can derive from the biomapping activities. It can also enhance scientific and technology literacy in biodiversity mapping. Before Upload invited me to Africa and biomapping workshop in 2017, I have never had anything like biomapping or citizen science. But now I am very well familiar with some of these things, so I improved my knowledge with some of these things. So improved understanding of the local biodiversity. When you submit your report, it gets identified by an expert panel, so you improve your knowledge. Scientists and the public share ecological knowledge and taxonomy skills about local biodiversity. But there are so many challenges to this. There is lack of enthusiasm, which is a major challenge to biomapping. And also there is insurgency. Okay, lack of enthusiasm. What will I will add here? Like last year we had, just like what Dr. Sam said, last year we had one field ornithology field course in Yankari Game Reserve, and this biomapping was one of the aspects I taught the participants. But I doubt if any one of them has ever submitted record to virtual museum. From the data I have from the virtual museum, none of them, and they well appreciated it during the workshop. But there is lack of enthusiasm even among our atlasers, our colleagues, our friends. Also insurgency, especially in Nigeria, in parts of Boko Haram areas like Northeast, insurgency people, are very scared to go out to the bush for biomapping activities. There is insecurity, there is serious kidnapping going on, even people to go to farmland areas for agricultural activities, they are scared to place of biomapping activities. Also, lack of biomapping gadgets and poor internet network. Some people are in remote areas like in the Obudu Plateaus and Mambila, where the internet network is very poor, so they cannot upload records to virtual museum. Also, lack of the mobility. You need to move from one place to another to biomap, to change your current place. So there is this problem of lack of mobility and even, enough resources like money to move from one place to another. So some biomappers find it difficult to upload records simply because they have hundreds or thousands of photos. This is a personal experience I had with some of the biomappers. I used to encourage them to upload records to virtual museum, but they keep telling me they have so many records, so how do they start? But I keep telling them you start gradually, even if it's 10 records per day. So I think in few months you should be able to upload a lot of records, because every record matters to us. So I sincerely acknowledge BDI team for their constant support, Aplori for also for their constant support, and citizen scientists who are making a difference in biomapping activities across West Africa and Africa at large. Thank you.
Well done. Bravo.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Ringim. That was impressive what you guys have done and what you personally have done. I think our experience everywhere is that it's really quite small numbers of people who make giant contributions. So what did Churchill say, Rosie? That so many have to thank so few for something or other in the Second World War. So when I look at the bird atlas and the coverage map, it makes such a huge difference to our understanding of biodiversity. And even amongst the birders, you want to say, gosh, it's just a minority of people who contribute this incredible volume of data. So I don't think you should feel despondent, Ringim, about lack of enthusiasm. You just keep going and find the people who are enthusiastic. And what isn't I think widely known is that the virtual museum has a bulk upload system. So you enter the data on a spreadsheet, and you get the photos to us through something like Dropbox, and Rene can do thousands of photos uploaded in a relatively short space of time. So for people with big backlogs, that's the way to go. And I'm delighted that you've told us about that, because I can actually tell you about the solution to the big batches of data problem.
It goes like this. Never in the field of conservation have so many owned so many owed so much to so few.
Yeah.
That's paraphrasing.
Yeah.
Sure.
He said it it was the Battle of Britain. So it's when they fought off the Luftwaffe because of World War I.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Kate is giving a very nice advice as well. She's saying that one technique she uses is to motivate people is to help to offer them to upload some of their records.
Yeah, on there. Yeah, we once talk about.
I've tried that technique with a couple of friends that I know
Okay. I once talked with Megan about this, but I was a bit reluctant to do that because I wanted to encourage them to do it by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got one for Rick here. Rick, we should try and rope Mark Anderson in on one of these. I'm sure it would be a wonderful thing for him to publicize in his magazine. And I can't help thinking this is a wave. It's not just birding; it's everything. And also he's got a lot of contacts in big business. If anybody can get us into the Googles of this world, it'll probably be him.
Yeah. No, good suggestion, Steve.
Again, so just to emphasize something that happens with the citizen science engagement process. So usually when I listen to Ringim or see some of his photos, we begin to see a group of people who initially got hooked through the bird atlas and then moved on, from just birds to begin to look at butterflies, look at plants, look at reptiles, and all the other things. And one of the things that also happens is you join one of the bird clubs, and maybe as a beginner, one of the first things you're thinking about is how do I get a pair of binoculars? And then once you have that sorted, the next thing is I need a camera. And so I think that that evolution continues, and that is one thing that we're beginning to find. So I also believe that in a similar manner, we are going to get more and more people biomapping and also contributing to the virtual museum. That is definitely something that is going to increase. I personally am beginning to save up funds to get the camera as well. So it's a process that I also am experiencing myself, and a lot of people I know are also doing this. So it's really amazing to see, how this brings about the mind shift, for people. You begin with, okay, well, it's a fun time on the weekends. Let me go out to the bird club. Some people go to the bird clubs not for the birds, but just to, interact with other people. Sure. And it's impossible to then close your eyes to the birds and the other things that are around. And for me, that is the really amazing thing that all of this, really highlights. And I think we are really onto something here.
Sure. So any other comment or question? Yes,
I
Sydney.
can just on that same issue of enthusiasm.
Okay.
I agree with what Les said. We also find that about 10% of people will make like 90% of the contributions. So it's usually, we've also done the same thing you guys have done in terms of doing some workshops and trainings and all that. And seen similar things. Most of the people who come for the workshops, they look very interested in it and all that, but after the workshop, they just fall off and they never. So, but usually there's like 2 or 3 people who will actually start, and you'll see that they're actually getting going. And what we found effective for us is once we set up a WhatsApp group, and that WhatsApp group is specifically for the atlasers who are the most active atlasers across the country. The people who we see that are actively submitting records, we get them onto the group, And the purpose of the group is basically to keep them motivated, to get people sharing interesting sightings, ideas, questions, helping each other out to identify birds that are difficult to identify, things like those. So that core group helps keep like the atlas going, basically, because those are the main people who are doing majority of the work. And then on top of that, those people can then go and help to, recruit their friends and all that. And then we also have the Facebook group, which is like a broader group that also has, people with a broad range of interests. So the Facebook group also helps to keep recruiting new people and like spreading the word to new people. But there's also still that core group on WhatsApp that is like the main, like the mover of the Atlas. And so we found that to be quite effective. And since we started the WhatsApp group, the number of submissions and number of pentats covered per year and all that, that has been going on. So I think it's an effective way to kind of identify the most people who are really the most active, while you still, grow and still spread the word to new people and all that.
Oh, yes. Yeah, sure. Thank you.
If I could just quickly add again. So for us, initially, just like you, just like Sydney
you
has
guys
just
are doing
said.
a great job. And
Oh, okay.
No, keep going. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So just like you were saying, it's the same here. We have had lots of workshops and seminars, trying to motivate to join. And initially, it used to be very, will I say, disheartening when you do a workshop, you have hundreds of people, and at the end, you put out a list and say, okay, how many of you want to join bird clubs? Maybe you end up with tens or 50s of people putting down their names, and then you say, okay, let's go out to the field, and then the number drops down to about 5 people, coming out. Eventually, that also drops off. But one thing that I have found quite encouraging now is that, of course, we need the people to go out there and collect this data. But once I started thinking about the people, and for example, on the Facebook group, there are close to 5,000 people on the Facebook group. And whatever information you put out there, they may not be going out to the field to do the atlasing, but they will get information from, being a part of that online community. So, when I think about it that way, I think, well, it's still, it's still worth it, putting the information out there, creating the awareness, and, bringing them together in that community. At least they are, have their ear out there. They know what is, they're beginning to get an idea of what is happening. So even when they don't come out to the field, or collect data or submit to the database, they would eventually tell someone that I know about something like this, or, I read about something, or for example, the vultures. So someone will tell you, oh, well, I've never really seen a vulture. And when they happen to see one, they can begin to tell you things about it, even, without being out in the field themselves. So I think it's still good to have that community together. It's interesting to have people, actually then actively participate. But the thing is to put the word out there and have people listening. So I think it's really valuable to have that community together.
Yeah. And I can tell you that during the 2017 workshop, about 20 people were invited. But I can tell you today, I'm the only one that is very, very active about biomapping. All the rest are not submitting. So, and 95% of all this data, I was the one that submitted all this information. So it is very difficult to get people, to continue to push. So it is very, very challenging.
But on the other hand, Ringim,
don't worry about
push a bit longer and find one more like you, we have doubled the data soon. So,
yeah.
We'll have to work.
Okay, if I can add a little bit to what Sam has said.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Dr. Salatu.
Yes, if I can add a little bit to what Sam has said, it's really, really amazing what social media can help us to achieve in this project. When we started, it was slow. But we used to always have tell ourselves these things. First of all, when you get results, nobody wants to disassociate himself from a successful person or project. Go out there, do your part, and then most importantly, we always try as much as possible to upload our field outing photos, birds, environment. Some people just see, oh, they went out, for instance, the Just Bed Club have gone out, and then they see photos on social media, Facebook. Everybody wants to snap picture. Everybody wants to be part of maybe outing photo. By the time you put up your activities on social media, the next outing you announce it, people are eager to come. It starts slow. You don't get discouraged. You keep going, and then gradually, as they stay at the background, as Sam said, they read what is going on, they see what is going on, and then gradually somebody wants to come one day. Who knows? Maybe I can go and see a very fine waterfall, great mountain, and everyone loves nature. So most importantly, whenever out in nature, upload photos of your outings, environments, nature, birds, butterflies, and whatsoever. Those are very, very important.
So I totally support you, Talata, on that. The impact of social media down in the southern end of Africa has also been amazing in terms of what it's done for the projects. These videos all go into the BDI YouTube channel, and there's something like almost, I think, 2,000 views of those videos in a month and a little bit that has been up. So the impact of these things goes way beyond this little group of people who sees them, or the little group of people who actually come to a bird club outing. So yeah, I think we just keep on persevering and pushing along. My sense is that we should be drawing this to an end.